All right, good morning, everyone. It's Trader Rob. We are live December 1st, Monday. Fresh trading week, new opportunities. Let's get after it. All right, so right off the bat, found a nice little setup here on the ES at the 68.36.50, targeting the 68.33.50 with a TP2 at the 68.31.25 and a stop at the 68.41. So I'll let you guys take a look at that one. We've got also a setup on the downside for a long at the 67.63, targeting the 67.66 and the 67.69.50 with a stop at the 67.58. So those are our two setups that we've got currently on the ES that we'll be taking a look at. And then the NQ. NQ, I don't see much to the top side. We have this little area right here from the 25.364 to the 372, but just doesn't fit very nicely on the volume profile. So this is probably one that I'm going to skip. How's everybody's weekend? We got an absolute shit ton of snow here in Chicago, so I spent pretty much all day Saturday shoveling the snow. We got a nice Bears win on Friday. It was a big win against the Eagles. That was nice. I'll take a look at this one down here. It's just not super pretty. Morning, Joe. Morning, Nordic. Morning, Guy Tiki. I'm assuming it's a Mar. Mar, if you haven't already, please send me an email. Thanks for joining the entry, the signal service. Send me an email. I'll send you a message here with your Discord user ID. Morning, David. Morning, Nor. Again, two setups here identify, well, one new setup here identified on the ES at the 68.36.50, targeting the 68.33.50, and TP2 at the 68.31.25 with a stop at the 68.41. Excuse me. Yeah, we must have gotten about like a foot of snow down here. So, but the nice thing is that I wasn't very busy on over this weekend, so I didn't really have to drive much in it. Then as far as the NQ, we don't got really anything until we get down to the 24,962. And then we'd be targeting the 24,974 and the 981 with a stop at the 24,947. We do have some high impact news this morning. We've got PMI, S&P PMI at 8:45, and then ISM PMI at 9 a.m. We did have a really nice members only stream on Wednesday evening. I think it went really well. Went for about 2 hours. And I think people got some value out of it. I had some fun with it. As far as deals, pretty much majority of the companies ran some pretty awesome Black Friday sales. So Funding Ticks is at 50% off, and they're currently, as of right before the stream, did the 25,107 already play out? No, I actually canceled that. I invalidated that setup. So no setup at the 107 anymore. Yeah, so Tradeify is at 40% off, and they're still running it. Take Profit was at 30% off, plus they'll refund you the cost of the eval, I think on your first payout. And Apex is running still at 80% off with the $40 lifetime PA and a $10 lifetime PA on the 100K accounts. But the Funding Ticks one was pretty nice at 50% off. That's a pretty great price point. And you can use code TraderRob for any of those. Also for my my Signal group and my VIP stream members, I will be posting more frequently now that I've got pretty much, I think, most everything situated here on stream. I'll be posting breakdowns of setups that we take here, kind of showing you the entry, the levels that I'm using, and what I'm seeing on the chart. Posted one, I believe, on either Thursday or Friday. Can't remember now. So we'll see what kind of movement we get here. I had to start a little early today because I'm going to be, I got about a 9:30. I got about a 9:45 hard stop here this morning. I got an inspection at 11 a.m. that I got to get to. Let's pop over the NQ. see what's going on. Let's see what's going on at the 25,292. Not much yet. So you guys can see this is 15-minute level right smacks right up here, right around the 25. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit. So you've got a 15-minute level right here at the 25,294. And you also got a 5-minute level pretty much sitting... where to go? Where to go? No, not really a 5-minute level here. So we got a 15-minute level that coincides nicely with this 292 area. Only issue on this particular trade is going to be my TPs. Let's take a look. Let's see if that coincides there. It's got to be right there. It's only 5 points. It's not the greatest. That is not the greatest. Fundina week through YouTube cost, yeah, they're $39 on Discord or on YouTube for the market signals. I know I don't have a trial. All right, so kind of I like the reactionary point at the 25,292. I just don't like my TP1. Sitting at only 5 points, not the greatest. Not the greatest. Looks like we're going to have to wait almost to the market open to get any action here. I'll be right back. All right. Gotta do some housekeeping. Stats for the signals were updated over the weekend. Actually, for the mechanical strats, which did end up doing pretty well in November. Let's see if I can pull these up. Let's see. So stats for November's my signal service, 88% win rate. I think in total there was 25 signals given out, 22 went for TP, 3 losers. Mechanical strategies did pretty good. Oil, session 1, which I don't trade, was at 92 ticks. Oil session 2 was up 46 ticks. Gold was up 75 ticks. And the 15-minute Rob reversal was super hot in the beginning and the end of the month. And then I had a few losses during the middle. And that was up 70 points. So that was pretty good. Good rebound from October. October, the 15-minute Rob reversal did not do well. I believe that's the month that I was trading the strategies mechanically against my discretionary, where I did that challenge. And then October's trade signals were at 75%. You can go into my Discord, take a look. As far as the mechanical strategies, I think it goes back 3 years. I got 3 years on all of the mechanical strategies. June. And then for the signal service, I started in February of this year. So that goes back to February. You can see them all there. And then for those of you that that watched my video I posted yesterday about my updated levels. Let's see here. That's a nice little move. On my updated levels, let's see if I can open up here, trading view. So gave you guys a signal yesterday around 2 o'clock, a couple hours before the Sunday Open, and give you a level at the 6807. That's a nice little bounce right there. That was good for, I don't know, let's see if I can get this thing to work. 22 points on the ES. It's pretty good. It's a nice reaction. And then if you go on my Discord, every morning I post my levels, my 5-minute and my 15-minute levels that I'm looking at each day. So those typically come out about an hour before the market opens. Let's see what the 292. So the 90's reacting. All right, 92s are starting to come in. Let's see if we can get something here early. So I typically have a window 5 minutes before the open to about 10 minutes after the open that I just like to kind of sit on my hands. We're at about 8:13 right now. So we'll see. They did form a wall at the 90, which is where they reacted from. Let's place this guy right up here. We don't need this gray box anymore. Well, not much of a defense there. And no footprint confirmation either. I got no footprint confirmation whatsoever. Figured to get a little aggressive with the limit order to start the morning, but we'll see. I got my hand stuck in the cookie jar here. 300 is my last defense. See if we can get a bounce. Now, I guess at this point I could probably target. You know what? We'll leave it here. Let's see what happens. We'll go to break even right at TP1. See if we can get a nice little move down here. All right, that's TP1. Come on, nice little move. Just a nice little move right here. Ah. I was about to hit the close button too. Let's go. There we go. Nice trade. TP1, TP2. Let's go. Nice little start. Nice little start. Got a little hairy though. A little more drawdown than I'd like to see, but I was kind of expecting it. That was probably a B- setup. It was probably a B setup if I had to really judge it hard. Let's see what kind of drawdown we're looking at there. Yeah, 7 points of drawdown. That's it's a little much. A little much. But hey, I'm on the board. All right, let's see now what typically I'm not a big proponent of break even. I mean, there's some applications for it, but on the NQ it can get a little tricky. I just don't really like very much the time frame that we took that trade. But good reaction point. See what the ES is doing. Anyone else take that trade? Anybody green? Oh, what I wanted to see was if we got the... We did not. Yeah, no real good footprint on that trade either. Good job, Nor. Not super thrilled with the drawdown. That 7 points was kind of iffy, but I wish I held it longer. Yeah. So one statistic that I want to start working on. It's going to take me some time, especially going back. I don't know how many months I can go back. It's going to probably take me a long time, but I'd like to see what the total reactionary point is on majority of my trades. Meaning that, you know, on a typical setup, you know, we get TP1, TP2. As you guys know, you guys can go into my stats and see the majority. I would say 80% of my signals go to TP1 and 2. And I say that loosely. It could be higher, it could be a little lower. I think Michael had that statistic out. But what I'm thinking is what the total move on average ends up being off of my signals. just to kind of see if we can. I'm putting TPs. Well, I mean, I've been explaining this for a long time, but I put my TPs in quick areas of unbalance. You guys actually saw me mapping that out on the NQ. I went down to the 1 minute and found my unbalanced areas. So let's get rid of these. All right, 9 minutes to open. Good job, Joe. Yeah, it's not doing much. Just kind of stuck in this range. All right, 8 minutes to open. I'll be right back, guys. All right. So I had a nice little early morning winner here on the NQ. Pretty much off this bounce right here. I don't know. Still kind of thinking I'm going to rate this one in my journal. Probably a B setup. 7 points of drawdown, which I don't like at all. But I can't be too mad with being in the green. All right, 3 minutes to open. Remember, we got high impact news at 8:45 with S&P PMI and then ISM PMI at 9 a.m. Sellers are pretty strong right here. Let's see. If we get a strong push to the downside, we could probably come up with a setup right here, right now, but we gotta see them do some work. For me to take a look at a setup right here, they'd have to break. I would really like them to see them break the 68.05. And then we can consider a setup in this area, this region. As far as the NQ, I have a little area right here that looks somewhat interesting, the 25-158s. I want to see how, when price action starts coming down, I want to see what kind of reaction we get at this 25-158 area. Morning, Cat. So early morning start for me this morning. I got a hard stop about 9:30, 9:45. All right. That's a big, nice little push from the market to start the morning. I'm probably going to see a reaction right here in this box on the ES. I got some good liquidity right there. Going to want to tap into. Start their morning auction process. And they could target right here. Let's see what happens in this box here. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Had a good Thanksgiving. And I was eating turkey till Saturday, which helped. I was shoveling snow all day on Saturday. And it just kept coming and coming. I think I shoveled 4 times. You just couldn't keep up. And I thought it would be slick. I've got a pretty big snowblower. To be honest with you, I think it's maybe just a little too big for what I need. We've got a decent sized driveway. But it's a pain in the ass to constantly be taking out that. So they just balanced out this volume that I was, you know, what I was hoping for was a sweep down here, take out the low here at the 6805, and then I could have found a setup right here because that would have been a great reactionary point, but they had other business at mind. But they could definitely come back and target the 6825, close out this auction here. So I thought it'd be slick. And last week, on Amazon, I ordered one of those like snow pushers. It looks like a manual snow shovel, but it's cordless, so it's got battery, and it's stated that it throws the snow 12 to 15 feet. And I figured, okay, this might be an easier solution for when it's not, you know, a foot or 10 inches of snow where I might need my bigger one. First of all, I get the box, and I didn't look at the description very well, but it was like half the size of what I thought it would be. And I started Saturday morning, and I pretty much threw it off to the side after like 2 passes. It was complete garbage. It would throw the snow, and then with the wind, it would just knock me right back in my face. It was maybe throwing it 5 feet. It said that it threw it 13 feet. So that whole thing was a freaking joke. Then I ended up doing it all by hand, because I still didn't want to take out my big snowblower. The pain in the ass. Looks like the ES wants to come after the 6825. Seems very logical. Right, 6836. What's going on here? It looks like we're getting the defenses all coming in at the 35s. Let's see if they make this push here to the 6825s. A lot of pressure here, a lot of pressure right around our entry. this area I mapped out earlier. Just don't like how it fits on the... I'd like this to see this on the higher side of the volume profile. Let's see if I increase my my days here. Let's see what this looks like. It looks like the ES is tapping into that. Come on. That was a good idea to do on my chart right now. Yeah, it doesn't really help it out much. It's very minimal. I mean, we got some free flow. We do have a little bit of defense here, but not super pretty. All right, so they just completed their auction there. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Now let's see what they want to do here. They are defending the 35s pretty well. So if you've got a footprint confirmation, a footprint chart, you might want to take a look for footprint confirmation in this area right here, possibly. 33s are coming in. Yeah, I like this one. Remember, we got news in about 6 minutes. I don't want to get trapped with the news like I did last... I don't even think it was last week. I think it was maybe the Thursday or Friday last week. We had a 9 a.m. news event and put me into a bad hole. And I honestly completely forgot about it, so... Five minutes of news. Not much going on in the NQ. Just back down to 45. All right, 3 minutes to news. Morning chum sauce, morning random. Good morning. Was there a short on the ES at the 68.25? Don't have that one on my chart. Let's see what happened at 68.25. 68.25. Oh, are you talking about, let's see, was that a signal on my, yes, 68, I don't know. Not sure. 68.25 would have been a nice move though. I didn't have that one mapped out on my chart this morning. I don't know, maybe it to close out on Friday or something like that. I'm not sure. All right, 2 minutes to news. Sitting on my hands on during news. And Q's got an interesting spot down here. Again, at the 25.158 down to the 25.150. But kind of having a hard time with this one. Looks a little sweepy to me down here. We could go for the 142s, which is down here. I invalidated the signal, Michael, on the 107. I don't know. I was looking at TP at TP1. TP2 looked okay. TP1 looked kind of congested with the where I saw some unbalanced volume. So I mean, obviously it can always work out, but just to my eye on that second look didn't look very A plus ish. And I had a setup marked off on my chart. I think it was from Wednesday's. Let me see if I can pull it up here from Wednesday's session. Let's go to screenshots. I didn't take it. It was happened early this morning. Let me see if I can pull it up here. This one. If you guys remember this one. I think it was from Wednesday. It was a long at the 25.232, which got a nice reaction too. But again, Wednesday was kind of a blur to me already. All right, so we went through S&P PMI. Now we got ISM at 9 a.m. So we still got to be cautious here. Does anybody remember this setup at the 25.232? Must have been on Wednesday, a Wednesday stream. All right, let's see what else the NQ's doing here. I like everything about this minus the news. Should see a pretty good reaction right here at TP2. Might get a little explosion there. "13 minutes to news." We're going to see a reaction here for sure. All right, it's coming. Like some defense coming in around the 37s, which I don't have right now. I've got it at the 40. It's really close to my stop. It was Wednesday. Okay. Thanks, Steve. I think that one hit this morning at 6:30. 6:30, 6:40 in that area. All right, so now there is a big pocket forming right here. Okay. News loves this. Okay. News absolutely loves this because this is a very easy place for them to target unbalanced volume, which they kind of tapped into it there, but they really left all the big stuff. I should make this oval look like that right here. Now, the only issue I see here is that my layer of defenses right now are at the 40s and at the 41, which is right at my stop. So this could be a tap and TP1, TP2, or we can obviously get a mini sweep here, which is what I like to avoid. And we got about 10 minutes to news. It's kind of a tricky play here. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, now coming in the 37s a little bit. I like to see that. They absorbed there a good amount. You can see on the footprint chart right here. Might have been... That's a very good footprint confirmation right there. But they're still defending it very strongly. Okay. They can get rid of this now. 9 minutes to news. This is a great place for them to do an auction, especially with high impact news. This is exactly what they're looking for. The only issue is that we could see a sweep here. But if we get it, hopefully before 5 minutes before the news, we might have a shot here. 8 minutes to news. Okay. Big absorption there. Seven minutes to news. A lot of absorption. This might be the move right here, actually. Dang it. That might have been the move right there. That was a great footprint candle. Let's see. Don't want to see them take out TP2 yet. And that missed it by, I think, a tick or two. That was a tick. 6 minutes to news. There's the tap. All right, so we got in there. Five minutes to news, not the greatest spot to be in right here. On balance right now, it's pretty much my entry. So a few ticks above, a few points above the TP1. This doesn't look pretty. This does not look pretty. Nasty stop there. Nasty one. Honestly, that setup looked very, very good from the beginning. Everything, bookmap, got the footprint confirmation. Everything looked fantastic on that. Son of a gunner. Nasty trade. Nasty trade. Happy birthday, Michael. Sorry, bud. Not the way I wanted to start it either. Especially after being green in the early part of the morning. But I would consider this still to be an A+ setup for me. Everything lined up very, very nicely here. Very nicely. I did leave TP1 unbalanced. TP2 is pretty balanced out. That's why I was targeting my TP1 here. Two minutes of news. Well, not the best way to start December. First signal being a loser. Only thing I see close is TP1. It's the only thing that's left unbalanced. TP2 is balanced out very well. But they got to get through that entry at 36. Maybe we're back. I was just about to come on and say I feel like taking a stab to the short here. This is definitely in play. Looks like we got a lot of pressure to the downside. So they balance out the 68.33. Big absorption there. I might take... Oh, I missed that one. Dang it. I saw the huge absorption there. Let's take a little stab here. Oh, come on. I was right about to go to break even. Oh, no. Oh, no. No, they left me cooked. They left me cooked. I saw that big absorption right there. They left me cooked here. Dang it. Dang it. 38s. That's where they're at. 38s is my only level right there. That's a terrible... Saw a lot of pressure, a lot of absorption. I was about a second and a half late on that short, on that big impulsive move to the downside. Oh, let's see what happens here. If I take a loser here, that's calling it a day for today. I'm definitely calling it. A lot of pressure still from the upside, though. I should say to the downside. With a bigger stop, you might get a much bigger move here, but I can't risk any more capital. I literally missed this one by a second. I saw the absorption, saw the impulsive move. Again, I think with a little bit bigger of a stop here, you probably get a bigger play. I do see a lot of pressure to the upside, to the downside. They could even target down here at the 28s. Right down here. The safest play is my stop a little bit above here. It's just not enough. Ah, that's shit. That was pure shit. I even walked myself through that one. I said I definitely needed a little bit more of a stop based on what I saw as far as defense. And now they're probably going to target that 28. That's unbalanced. Just bad management. Yeah. I knew where my stop needed to be. That was the bigger problem. I'm just putting salt in my wounds, looking, staring at this. Let's see what happens here. All right, let's see what the NQ. So I was at the 30, I think I was at the 39s. Wow, right to the tick, huh? Right to the tick was my stop. I had it at the 39s. Let's see what's going on. So much pressure to the downside here. Looks like a big fall. No, I wasn't chasing. I saw TP2 being completely, I'm sorry, TP1 being unbalanced. And now I see 68.28 being completely unbalanced. I mean, they did a shit ton of business here. This is just a natural spot for it. And they're going to bounce. They're going to keep retesting and taking up a lot of auction here. And they can dump it right here down to the 28s, even the 25s. So it wasn't necessarily a chase. I also did have a lot of conviction on the initial entry. Great footprint confirmation. Good level of defense. Unbalanced TPs. Yeah, I think that's best said. That's best said. And to be honest with you, a part of it was capital preservation. I mean, I knew where my stop needed to be in that exact scenario. On that second re-entry down to the short. I didn't want to give up more capital than I already did. I mean, obviously a little unfortunate. Right at the tick at the 68.39, which is exactly where I put my stop. But There she goes. There she goes. So a good classic case of knowing where it's going, just not how it's going to get there necessarily. Alright, let's get rid of this guy. One second, yes. All right, nice little setup here on the NQ. 25,257 as an entry, TP1 at the 25,265.50, and TP2 at the 25,271.50 with the stop at the 25,248. Here's your 5-minute level right here. So let me update this one. Stop loss hit. Thank you. Two, 65. All right. We got about 4 minutes for IB. What's going on the ES? All right, guys, I'm going to call it for the day. I got to get out of here in the next 15 minutes anyways. It was a bad early session for me here. On the ES, we've got a long at the 67.63, TP1 at the 67.66 with a TP2 at the 67.69.50, stop loss at the 67.58. And on the NQ, we've got a long at the 25.257, targeting the 25.265.50. TP2 at the 25.271.50 with a stop at the 25.248.50. That's it for me today, guys. Hit like on the stream. I know it was a pretty shitty morning trading here. I put pretty much all my eggs in that ES basket right there, and it got me pretty good. Let's see what the final stats. I know it's going to look kind of ugly, but cash down, Rob Live Main, $427. My secondary cash account's down $452. So that's a loss today of about $850 cash. And the rest were in my funded ticks accounts. And today I decided to get even a little bit more aggressive on the funding ticks. I went up to 2 contracts on those trades. So welcome, Rob. Welcome, December. That's all right. We'll be back at it again here tomorrow. Normal time, 8:30 in the morning. I like to say be patient, but well, you guys saw that one in play. Take care. We'll be back at it again tomorrow. Try to extract some of our money back here. Take care, guys.